Support for this program provided by
All right, folks, it's late in the day, but I did promise you 3 videos this week, and so I am going to deliver. Now, what I was going to show you was, I went to Dennis Laney's house, and in his shop, I wanted to show you the 3 different workbenches that Dennis has. He finished making his latest one, and he feels it's the best bench ever. So we were going to look at all 3 of his benches, and he was going to point out the good and the bad of each of them. Well, it turns out I had so much good footage of Dennis that as I've been editing this, it's like a 45, 50-minute long video. And I figured probably most of you don't have the time, especially with the weekend coming up, to sit around and watch all that. So I'm going to break it down into smaller chunks. So this first video is a short little interview with Dennis so you can kind of get to understand his background and the skill level that this man has. And then the remaining videos will be spotlighting his 3 benches. So stay tuned for this little series on my good friend Dennis Laney. Okay folks, well we're here in the shop of my good friend Dennis Laney. Now, Dennis, how long have you been doing woodworking?
Oh wow, Chad! I started working in my grandfather's shop straightening nails when I was probably 10, so that's 62 years ago. Okay. Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah.
Now, you know, most of my viewers know that when I have a question or if I really need to learn something, I come to you and Les. And you know, tell them so that they can understand some of the projects that you've enjoyed making, some of your favorite pieces you've done.
Well, my interests have kind of changed over the years. I started out really doing a lot of restoration carpentry, architectural restoration stuff, interior restorations of historic homes. And I've gone more, though, to cabinet work and furniture work in the last 35 years. I do like doing period furniture because it's, as we've talked before, there's a real specific envelope of dimensions for period furniture. So if you follow most of those rules, you can't go wrong. And I've found that contemporary stuff is probably the most challenging because you have to have an overall balance of things. So I just, furniture in general, I think, is really my great interest at this point. I do a lot of carved stuff. Any time that I can learn something new, and believe me, even after 60 years practicing this trade, I learn something new every day. That to me is a real challenge. That's the beauty of it, is when you can test yourself continually.
Now, so the viewers know, I mean, this wasn't just a hobby. You did this for a living, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so you worked with other contractors, you worked on your own.
Yeah.
So you have really earned your stripes in doing this.
Yeah, I have. And stripes could mean a lot of things, but yes, yeah.
Now, again, a couple of the pieces in your house. Is there any one in particular that was your favorite, one or two that you enjoyed?
There's a banister back chair that I did a couple of years ago that was a replica of a chair that's in the Metropolitan Museum. That's been the most enjoyable thing I think in the last couple of years. Although I still enjoy doing case work. As you know, you and Les and I are working on a big highboy at the moment. But I tend to really like chair making as much as anything because it's very challenging. You can carve, you can turn, you can bend wood. I mean, it brings just about everything that you'd want to be involved with in woodworking together in one piece. They're reasonably small. They don't take up a lot of space. They don't require a lot of material. So it's I'd have to say the chairs that I made the last couple of years, really.
Now, the main reason of this video is I was telling the viewers that with all these years of woodworking, you've gone through different benches that you've built pieces on.
Oh, boy.
And recently, you feel you've made the one complete all-time perfect bench?
Well, I'm somewhat reluctant to say there's a perfect bench, because really there's a bench that, you know, each individual craftsman has certain particular needs and idiosyncrasies and ways of working, and I think that it's hard for anybody to just get acclimated or just be able to buy a bench off the shelf and have it fit all of their needs. But this has been going on now for years. Yeah, I think I finally arrived at something that suits the way I work.
So there you go. That was a short little brief part of the interview with Dennis, and you can start to understand the high level of craftsmanship this guy has. Now, the next video is going to spotlight his first workbench, what he likes about it and what he doesn't. And then from the other videos, we'll continue on to his ultimate workbench. So we'll see you next time. And keep on dancing.